there. It was interesting. Meanwhile, I've told young people, if you see one ad, these little coffee shops have wanted signs, go in. But I don't know to tell them that when it's not clear that racism is gone.
The part that she misses in this whole conversation, though, is the networking piece. Like, she doesn't bring that up. She doesn't mention that oftentimes we just don't have the network. We just don't. I mean, come on, guys. Like, think about this for a second. If you don't know your chances are better if you know somebody working there than if you don't know somebody working there, right? So I say we've gone from 0 to 10 because if you look at it now, like, this is crazy that this many jobs have been lost. It's absolutely insane. But I want to get into where last hired, first fired comes from. This goes all the way back to the Great Depression, and you'll see this here. Last hired, first fired, how the Great Depression affected African Americans. While no group escaped the economic devastation of the Great Depression, few suffered more than African Americans, who experienced the highest unemployment rate during the 1930s. This article here is written by a white man.
Did you know Cadillac almost went bankrupt in the 1930s? The Great Depression hit hard, and luxury cars were seen as unnecessary. But a surprising group of people helped save the company: Black entrepreneurs and professionals. Cadillac's sleek designs and reputation for quality appealed to a growing, affluent Black community. However, many dealerships refused to sell to them. Enter Nick Dreistadt, a German immigrant and Cadillac mechanic. In a bold move, he convinced executives to change their sales strategy, welcoming Black customers into the brand. The result? A 70% increase in sales within a year, and Cadillac not only survived, it thrived. So next time you see a Cadillac, remember this untold story of innovation, inclusion, and survival during tough times. What's your favorite untold history fact? Share it in the comments. If you enjoy unlocking your mind by learning from our content, like and subscribe for more. Did you know?
And another thing they're not telling you about this, they did mention that this happened during the Great Depression. What they didn't tell you in this clip here was that when the Great Depression hit and everything went belly up, the banks, all of the white people had their money in the bank. Black people had to have their money in their mattresses. That's why they always talk about Black people having money in their mattresses, because the white banks wouldn't allow Black people to put their money in their banks. So when the Great Depression hit and everything went belly up, well, white people lost all of their money. The Black people still had their money. They had their money at home in their mattresses, wherever else they had it at. So they didn't lose their money. So when it was time for them, or if they wanted to buy, say, a Cadillac, they were able to do that because they had their money at home, while white people lost all their money during the Great Depression. So when you hear these coons and these Aunt Jemimas running around YouTube talking about Black people never built nothing, Black people never did nothing, Black people never saved nothing, it's all bullshit. I'm telling you guys, man, I do your homework, do your research, and you can find out that Black people have saved America 1,000 times over. And that's why they fear Black people, because they know that if we truly came together as a people, there would be nothing on this planet that we couldn't do. But we have these white supremacists, we have these coons and these Aunt Jemimas, these Sambos and shoeshine boys doing everything they can to make you think you're less than. That's their job, to keep you down.
Content, like and subscribe for more. Did you know
a white man? And this is what I was trying to explain. It's not to say that no one else is suffering. Other people are struggling too, maybe struggling too. But when these things happen, when unemployment takes a hit here in the United States, it impacts the Black community harsher. And it's because of some of the things I told you. Obviously, yes, racism is a factor, but also the networking, the networks, that actually matters. Now, let's go into a little bit of the history here. You can see here's one of the pictures here. Let's go into this part right here. Lasting from 1929 to 1939, the Great Depression was the worst downturn in the industrialized world. While no group escaped the economic devastation of the Great Depression, few suffered more than African Americans. Sad to be last hired, first fired. African Americans were the first to see hours and jobs cut, and they experienced the highest unemployment rate during the 1930s. Since they were already regulated to low-paying professions, African Americans had less of a financial cushion to fall back on when the economy collapsed.
Look into the mind of a black man. He doesn't think correctly. I don't care what he is. He can be a doctor. He can be an astrophysicist. The nigga got no sense. Wow. You talk to him. You talk to a black man. He doesn't understand the world. He's never built anything. Of the Jim Crow South, 1926. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. 13 black men pooled their money, not for survival, but for power. They called it Safe Bus Company. At a time when black folks were banned from white-owned transit, these men built their own fleet, their own schedules, their own rules. They started with just a few buses. But before long, Safe Bus was carrying over 2.5 million passengers a year. Black-owned, black-run, black-driven. They weren't just transporting people, they were moving a movement. By the 1940s, it had become the largest black-owned transportation company in the entire world. Proof that when we unite, invest, and build, we don't just survive, we dominate. To my people, I ask, how many of us today are willing to do what they did? Look into the mind of a black man. He doesn't think correctly. I don't care what he is. He can be a doctor. He can be an astrophysicist. The nigga got no sense. Wow.